Somebody said access denied. Yes, because a lot of people are trying to get in right now. It took me, I've been trying to get in for the whole day. So finally I got in when I was about to start this class. So sorry guys, but don't worry, once they scale and they fix all their system, their performance issue, I think we would have better chance to have more of us in the chat. All right, let me pause if we have any questions so far. Type real quick. What's the link? Okay, let me send the link again, everybody. Another thing is, I love that. Somebody said generate love letters in Pidgin. Yes, this was a big one. Demola was telling me about this. Okay, look at this, everybody. This is lovely. Generate love and romantic letter in Pidgin. Oh boy, this is awesome. All right, so you guys are showing a secret. So if you are sharing love letters now, your spouses, your girlfriend, and everybody knows where you are getting it from. I hope this letter finds you in good health. The way they smile, the way they laugh. Oh Lord. Okay, I'll keep quiet here. But you can see it's giving you some vibes here. This is awesome. It gives answer to questions. You have to phrase it in a way that makes sense. Then you can put your name. You can ask. Okay, you can say another one. Tell me the steps to cook jollof rice. Now, let's start the debate: African jollof rice versus Ghana, Nigeria, Zimbabwe, Botswana jollof rice. But let's say jollof rice, right? Tell me steps to cook jollof rice. Okay, let's see. All right. Jollof rice is a popular dish in West Africa, Ghana, Senegal. Yeah, basics you can see. Ooh. All right. People that like to bake. All right. List steps to make of fada rice. I mean, it's just crazy. It's just amazing, really. Somebody will say, well, we can get this on Google, but listen, ladies and gentlemen, Google is afraid right now too. So, so be careful. I mean, it's just amazing, really. It's just amazing, 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 good stuff only. Now, let me tell you another one for those of you that like to write. So let's say you could say you want to write a book. I want to write a romantic book, right? I'll say, give me 10 chapters of romantic book. All right, let's say 10 chapters of romantic book, something like that. So to break the chapters, give you a recommendation, right? It will give you 10 potential chapters you can use to write your book. This is crazy, guys. All of you are authors already. You are an author, you are an author. I'm giving you authorship like Oprah now. There's no more excuse, ladies and gentlemen. This is crazy stuff. Now, you can now take each of these chapters and ask it to create content for each of the chapters. Hello, so you can write a book in a day. Investment tip, I like that, Yemi. So let's say 10 prolific investment tips. All right, now, of course, disclaimer, we are not giving you advice on investment, but 10 prolific on investment tips, right? All right, look at this, ladies and gentlemen. This is crazy stuff. Diversify your portfolio, invest for long term. Somebody said, which stock can I purchase? Sorry, we'll pass on that one. Ask if when we'll build Binance collapse, I'll let you guys do that yourself. But you get the gist. All right, so what we're going to do tonight, ladies and gentlemen, because we like to make it as interactive as possible, I'm going to make us, we'll quickly do, Demola, please, can you raise your hands real quick? I'd like Demola to just chip in, give me some insight, just generally. Then later, Demola will tell me where he sees this heading. None of us has a crystal ball, I get it, but some of us are much closer to it. Demola goes to a lot of conferences. It's very vast and amazingly wide in this area. So I'm curious to hear his thoughts. Where does this see this going? Maybe we should start with that. Bro, please, can you raise your hand so I can find you? Okay, thank you, Demola. All right. I just lost you. Let's see. Okay, got it. Okay, over to you, bro.
All right. Can you guys hear me okay?
Loud and clear.
Okay, good evening, everyone. How is your New Year resolution going? I already broke mine anyway. Okay, so we're here to talk about ChatGPT. And Akin has already, said a lot around this concept. To his point, it's not a new thing, but we are just seeing the consumerization of artificial intelligence, right? So this is really, really interesting. And the use cases that we've been seeing since its launch has been, it's been crazy. And to kind of just give you guys, some context. So when Facebook came out, right, it took about 10 months to get to 1 million users, right? It took Netflix 3.5 years to get to 1 million users. It only took 5 days to get to 1 million users for ChatGPT. And one of the reasons for that is we've been primed, we've been seeing it around us, so there's this unseen gap waiting to be filled. So when this one came up, I mean, we've all been using Siri, we've all been using Alexa, we've all been, even, when we use Google and when we are typing the autocomplete, all these things there, like AI, your banking, customer service when you're chatting with it. But it's all there. But when this one came up, we started seeing, a lot of use cases and people still, it's crazy, right? And people, with any technology, there's always, unintended use. And I know Akin was talking about vulnerabilities and, that coming. So what you are seeing right now, when this thing first came out, I think they've tamped it down a little bit. What you are seeing right now is it's being regulated a little bit because I was reading and someone said, okay, show me top vulnerabilities in banks and write me, a code to exploit those. So, technology is never neutral. You see people finding very good use cases for it, and you find people that are going to be using it for malicious and very terrible things. So, but the opportunities are there. It's endless. I mean, it's very new. I think it came out maybe November, early December last year. And if you use it like myself for a very long time, you start, picking a lot of holes in it. And you start seeing a lot of patterns, when you ask it some questions in different form repeatedly, you start seeing those patterns. But they continue to train. It's regenerative and, they call it generative and pre-trained transformer. So they use a lot of, reinforcement learning to kind of train it, and there will be different iterations going forward. So, it's the possibilities are endless right now. We'll continue to see different iteration of this. So Akin was asking me about, okay, so where do I see this going, right? And how does this affect us? So number one use cases, you guys now have like a personal assistant that could help you in a lot of ways in your day-to-day activity. Someone in my office said, if you're like me or that person who say, yeah, I'm not really into romantic stuff. So it was their wedding anniversary, maybe like 15, 20 years anniversary, and he wanted to write something nice. And he went to ChatGPT to write something, very nice to his wife, and different use cases, and some very mundane thing to really cool stuff like writing code. So that's where it is right now. So you guys knowing about it would help you, and you'll find different use cases. And it's also for us as a community, to Akin's point, that we kind of get to know this thing. And if you see the one that talks about pigeon, you'll discover that it doesn't really write clean pigeon like you and I were for people who speak pigeon. We would write it, but you can see that, and that's the gap there. So when it comes to natural language processing, we don't have for us, like Africans, right? It's still like underdeveloped because most things are written in English, and so it only makes sense to kind of write things in English or than other languages. I think this can speak other languages, but not so much anything coming from Africa. So there's an opportunity there.
Demola, just a question. I was kind of curious. So I know we don't have a magic bulb, but if we could predict the future and say, from a business point of view, opportunities that we can see right now, as you're talking about the pigeon. So I'm challenging somebody on this call to say, okay, maybe I'm going to be the person to streamline and find, a better way to enhance how pigeon is integrated into the database. What are some opportunities we can think of, use case wise, from a business and an advantage point of view, that is not the one we want to execute, right? That you want to share to the whole world and say, guys, why don't we, because it's open source. I know one of the ones you kind of shared with me, I can throw that out. Maybe somebody can run with it. It's okay, while you're doing ChatGPT, can we have it integrate into a PowerPoint and automatically be populating and designing for us? Because now I have to move this to a PowerPoint and start modifying it, right? Why don't we have someone, I throw it out to somebody out there to design something, work with the development team, and as you're typing it, it's writing it in the PowerPoint automatically, immediately. So I'm just throwing that out there. And so give us some use cases you can think of, if any, Demola, that you think it's it's a gold mine. And you're right, there are APIs available for this right now.
Yeah. So I mean, anything it's going to be hard to kind of go into any specificity at this point, because the opportunities are there, and they are exposing the APIs as well. And you can think of it, like, to your point, if you think, okay, this is only generating text, I want something that would that can do like a PowerPoint presentation, that's a use case. And we've talked about, it's based on natural language. And it's something, if you think of anything, you can actually make it happen. But the first thing is you just have to understand how to call the API and integrate that into whatever application you have. So that's one thing I want to touch, though, is, so I was reading something from McKinsey, and they said by 2030, 375 million workers may need to switch occupation. Okay, that's, I think, 14% of global working population. So one thing we have to start. So it might sound like a little bit scary to a lot of people, but I don't want us to look at the scary part. I want us to look at the opportunities that this is also going to be presenting as well. So now the question is, okay, if I have to switch up job, what can I do, right? And, it's still up in, even McKinsey, they didn't really conclude about, but they said, some of the soft skills that we are supposed to be having, they would now be more important, like emotional intelligence, like, analytics. Because if you think about it, I mean, this can crunch a lot of numbers and things like that, but it's still, when on the scale of things, maybe the intelligence that he has today based on people's evaluation is still like maybe like a third or fourth grader, really, when you compare that to humans. So it's going to continue to get, so in the future, people are now speculating, okay, will this thing be able to write a code to improve itself? Can it be improving? Can it continue to be intelligent? It's still yet to be seen. But again, people that are actually developing that model and all those things. So that's why, you see a lot of people going in the direction of AI machine learning. So personally, if you are one of those people actually developing the models and things like that, learning about data and looking for different use cases, because this thing, natural language processing is the future. And also there's another one that they have right now that you can go check on. And Akin, I know we talked about this. So they have a new one that called that E2. So you guys can check it out as well. You can actually tell it to create, you can describe an image and ask it to create that image, and it's going to do it. So it's not ChatGPT. So one of the other, product that they have, OpenAI. So you guys can also check it out.
Demola, can you send that to me also? I will share that with the community.
Yeah, definitely. I'll do. I'll put in. Let me put it in the chat right now.
And please, everybody, we have a YouTube page. Just click like it so I can post this video we are recording right now. You can all see it there. Just like the page, you get notification once I post it. Thank you, Demola. That's amazing.
No worries. So this one is not as mainstream as the chat piece, but again, it's also something to look at. Okay,
that's a good one. Okay, that's great. Okay, let me open that too. Okay.
So I just put it in the chat.
That I can see that. Oh, okay. So that's supposed to help you to come up with images. Oh, Lord have mercy.
Yeah. So you can just describe an image. So you want, you want a monkey playing basketball.
Wow.
That's an example, right?
Wow.
Yeah, and it's gonna create that for you.
Wow.
Even in high resolution. So
okay.
I guess let me just wrap this up by saying the opportunities are there, they are endless. This is gonna help you guys. People should start thinking about how this applies to them and how it's going to transform the way we work. And if anyone says that, okay, yeah, maybe this is really going to impact my work and what I do going forward, then we have to start looking at that transition plan to kind of make sure we get into those occupations that will be in high demand in the future. Thank you, Akin.
Thank you so much. Can we all give some love to Demola, please? Everybody, I want you all to just put a chat. Thank you, Demola. And honestly, I'm doing this because of him. He was one that shared it. He was in a conference, and he was gracious enough to honor and say we should share it with our community. This is amazing, and that's what we expect. Really, it's not about. This is just the purpose of what we do. Really, when you see an opportunity like this, we're not going to keep it. Now, if you keep it, the sad thing is that other community will share it, and we will be losing. So it's important when we see things that we feel will benefit our community, share it. Now, a lot of people want to know it and keep it to themselves. Good for you. It's not useful to us, but we want you to share stuff like that. That is the way we can impact our community, make the best out of our communal together in diaspora at the minimum. This is excellent, really. I mean, I've used it so much. Now, the final thing we'll do, we typically do this, is we're going to do like a quick 10 minutes working session, then I wrap up. The working session is simple. We'll put us in a group, and in your group, everybody just type a few things that you do at work and ask somebody to talk about it. Type it in ChatGPT, see if you can use it to enhance your business or your line of work. If it's programming, whatever you want to test, if it's clinical research, if it's desktop support,